technical difficulties, but it's all good. We're all here. We got Sal Polisi, we got Frank Dimatteo. Frank's been on my other podcast a bunch of times, so if you guys have seen him, or seen around, he's a really great author. He's got a number of books, and he was with the Gallo crew, and Sal was with the Colombos. They were associates. They both were of the Colombo family at one time. So we thought, you know what, this would be a really good segment. They didn't cross paths in that life, but they were around some similar guys, and we can compare and contrast some of the stories that they have. But Sal, how would you like to proceed with this? What do you have to you want to throw
I
in
was curious how old Frank was.
I'm 68.
Okay, so I'm 11 years older, but I had my son's godmother lived on First Place.
Okay.
So I used to get to Court Street, President Street, way, way back in the 70s. But
right.
you were more familiar.
Yeah, I was born in 56 on First Place. 113 First Place.
I love those houses.
yeah, they're beautiful. Yeah. I was born right across the street from Scotto's funeral home.
Scotto?
That's what. Scotto's funeral home. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Came up with
Adrian wouldn't know who Roselle Scotto was.
No, we love her here in New York. She's a character.
A famous television personality.
Hold on. Hey, Frank, we're hearing like an echo. Do you have like loudspeakers on?
I just got the phone on, man.
Oh hell. Yeah, it's kind of echoing quite a bit.
Should I lower the phone?
Maybe, yeah. Try it a little bit.
Wait, let's try that.
Yeah. Well, I can still hear it. Yeah, maybe turn it down a little
bit. Better?
Let's see. Sal's, try talking.
I'm okay. I'm good.
Frank, try talking. Yeah, I think we're good. But Frank, can you hear us? Turn your volume up a little bit, Frank. All right, can you hear us, Frank? Because the echoing went away, but I just can't hear. I don't know if Frank can hear us now. He's got the mute mic button on.
Adrian.
Huh?
Did you ever hear anybody talk about the President Street neighborhood?
Yeah, of course, Frank. But I mean,
beside Frank.
Well, yeah, Frank has another friend named Anthony DeLuca who was in the Gallo crew too, and they came up together, and they have a lot of funny stories.
I'm sure.
Frank, if you want, just leave and join back on the phone, because I think I got rid of the noise, but it just needs you to leave and come back because it says your microphone isn't connected. But yeah, let's just keep going, Sal. He should join back. Sorry, everyone. But go ahead, Frank or Sal.
I was going to ask him, because I know the public, I'm not sure about the demographics of the age of the people that listen to us. But, when one person talks about something, there's always a question of what is another person's point of view. So I was going to ask him to give us an inside view on what that neighborhood was like. Because it was so, private and secretive. Of course, when I got there in 69, 70, because my son's godmother lived there. Now, he was born on the same street that my Gumara, that was I call it Gumara, was born and raised there, and she was part of the Anastasias,
Oh, really?
So, but I thought he would give us an insight.
Yeah,
because even if he's 10 years younger than me, he remembers what the 70s, how secretive it was.
Yeah,
Very
and that-
secretive then days. You didn't have informants running around. You didn't have feds out there. It was very guarded, that neighborhood.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like with Frank, he talks about his early life with the Gallo crews, the
Right.
Gallo crew, and then being involved with both the second war, I believe, or maybe two of them. For sure, one of them I can't
Right.
recall.
Yeah.
But then he also went on after the Gallo crew. He went to the Genovese family for a little bit as an associate, and then I think he ended up in the DeCavalcante family in New Jersey and just was an associate as there as well. And they proposed him, but he didn't want it, like, because I don't know. I think it was because he didn't want to be fully dedicated into that family. Just same reason as you.
It
But
was all changing so rapid. He can give us an insight to how much it changed.
yeah, and see, I see him in the background studio right now, but like it's showing that his devices are. Oh, here we go. Let's see.
Coming
Okay.
on.
Why did it?
Is he in New York area?
Hey, Frank, unmute your mic. I believe, yeah, New York and then Florida. Frank, everything shows we're good except the mic is muted on your end. I'm trying to unmute you, but it says that you've hit that button. So there we go.
It's not letting me.
There we go. Hope you had it.
That's good.
Oh,
There it goes. Wait,
it just kind of keeps going back and forth.
wait.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
this
right.
this fucking thing phone sucks. It all sucks.
It's all good. It's all good. You're here. You're here, and can you hear us? No echoing, no nothing. All right. Just this.
I
It's
hear
all
you.
good.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
I
all
can
good.
hear you.
Okay. So, Sal, what
Okay.
question did you have for Frank?
I was telling Adrian, because that was
Yeah.
such a tight neighborhood, you know, and those blocks were so concise that you could give the listeners an insight to how secretive the 1970s. I mean, I got there in 69, I guess 68, but I only visited there on First Place. I'd go there every couple of weeks. And then I had a relationship with my Gomada's family, and they were wonderful. And they had this huge building, as you know, you was born there, the most beautiful
Right.
brownstones you can imagine on First Place. So if you could give the listeners
Yes.
some type of insight how secretive the life was there.
Well, listen, in the in the 70s and even the 60s, most of the guys. So if they want a little showman, they were wise guys. They're not wise guys.
He lost his audio.
Look, I lost you again. Are you there?
Yeah, we can. It's like cutting in and out.
Are you there?
You
I
want
don't know
to try your
why.
laptop one more time?
Yeah, let me
Hey,
go
Frank,
back
just try.
on laptop.
Yeah, just try
Yeah.
that one more time.
Yeah. I don't know why.
All right. Well, let's just keep on going, South Block. Yeah, but anyhow, sorry everyone. And Sal, you were talking about that. You went there a little bit. So when you went out there, like, who were some of the guys that you said you talked to? What was his name?
Oh, Pudgy. He knew Pudgy.
Pudgy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I wasn't involved with any of them. It was a very casual meetings. You could see they had clubs, a club here and a club there, the President Street. And you were very cautious, and they were very cautious in those days. If you didn't live in that neighborhood, they were concerned who you were and what you were doing there. That's what I was trying to convey.
Yeah, well, we had clubs, social clubs, every other block. Every family was down there. You had the Gambinos on one block. You had the Colombos. Well, Colombos weren't on our side of Court Street. There was always on the other side of the Third Avenue. But you had a lot of different clubs, a lot of different wise guys. It was very tight knit. It was all Italian in those 30, 40 block areas. You know, everybody knew you. The parents knew you. Grandparents knew you. I mean, you couldn't do nothing without getting caught. You know, you couldn't shit where you eat over there.
Tell them about the layout of the stores, the butcher, the baker, the delis. I mean, everything you wanted, Adrian, was with walking distance.
Yeah, I mean, Court Street and Smith Street. Yeah, well, Court Street and Smith Street was, you know, just many stores. You had an Italian restaurant, then you had a butcher, then you had a baker, then you had a social club. I mean, we had like 9-10 restaurants on a 20-block area on Court Street. Your pool room, you know, pizzerias up the ass. Yeah, pizzerias. It was very close knit. I grew up as a kid. You know, you had Queen's Pizzeria, which is very famous. You know, Punchy had a restaurant on Fourth Street for many years. Yeah. You had many Glorias and you know, Sally's Pizzeria. You had a lot of stuff. Juju had a pool room on Court Street that I grew up in. Juju was, I think, a Gambino guy. So we were all very close. Growing up, it was just a close-knit neighborhood with a lot of Italian, you know, pastry stores, court pastry, Monteleone's. Right. You had everything in a 20-block area that needed and you grew up with. I happened to, you know, when I born there, my father wound up being with Larry Gallo from, you know, since '62. So wow. I've been around those guys since I'm, you know, 5, you know. He wound up being a bodyguard for Larry.
Yeah, he was like the Bronx Tale. He was like a little kid.
Yeah.
Like, he understands Bronx Tale, a little kid hanging out, going to all these clubs. Right? We lost his audio.
No doubt about it. Joey Gallo and Larry Gallo had a habit. Are we back?
Yeah.
No.
We're back?
Just barely.
I hear you. You hear me?
Yeah.
It's got to be my. I think it's here. I don't think I got enough. You know, what do you call it? Wi-Fi or whatever you call it over here. Anyway, like I was saying, you know, Larry and Joe, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, we can.
Hello. Okay, Larry, Joey, and Blast used to pinch your cheek as, you know, a gesture of friendly, you know, ness, until you cried as a little boy. So this is what you grow up with, you know.
So what did you feel like?
Because Joey and Larry.
He was 16 when Joe Gallo got killed. It was April of '72. What did you feel about that killing?
Right.
I don't know if you heard me.
Well,
it's just a little.
Joey's only out a year.
Right.
I heard you. Joey's out a year. So, you know, we got close with Joey that year because Joey was to us, Joey's the man. You know what I mean?
Right.
We had all the love and respect for him. He was like an idol to us. You know, don't forget, we didn't see Joey for 10 years. So you go from 6 to 16, just knowing about him, you know, he was a legend. So when he got killed, then, you know, it would hurt. You know, it hurt. You get mad. You want to react. But being one of the younger guys, you know, you wait for the big boy. I call the big boys to tell us what to do. Yeah, it was rough, but, you know, it happens in this life. Guys got killed before that. You know, my father was a good teacher. I learned well. You know, my father was my idol. You know what I mean? So it's just bad. Anytime somebody gets killed around you that you like and you grow up with and you have a passion for them, it hurts no matter who it is. You know.
Right.
Joey was no different than if somebody else got whacked that you liked. Just that, you know, it hurts. It hurts.
So during that time, I know you were involved with the Gallo Wars and stuff like that. So maybe Sal would be interested to hear a little bit more about the Gallo Wars that you were in and that the things you can talk about.
Well, that was probably the
Well, I can't
later.
talk about much, but I broke my cherry. Yeah, 73. About a year after Joey got killed is when we had an internal problem, and that's where we got involved in more, any involvement in. It went on for 2 years. 73 and 74 got a little heavy. 75 it quieted down. 76 was another shooting, and hell. And those are the bad years for us. But we were very active in that. Me, Gumbaril, Bujuto, the younger guys.
So he was just 18 years old then.
Pretty young, yeah. Yeah, really young. But back
I was 18. Yeah, I was 18. Yeah, but I was driving my father since I'm 13. I drive Joe Shep. I drove Joe Shep's in 73. I was driving Joe Shep, Japan.
And with Frank's dad, he met a lot of all kinds of different higher guys like Carmine Galante and all.
But father meetings, I should drive him to go see Chin in the city. So I learned fast, and they trusted me. Why? Because maybe because I was Ricky's son. Because my father was very well liked in the family and out of the family. So I just got I carried myself properly. I did what I had to do, and they trusted me, and I made sure I didn't fuck up because everybody was on my ass all the time about drugs, about this. I couldn't even do nothing, meanwhile, everybody played and indulged, and I had to walk the straight line. So, which I did. But 73, late 73, 74, 75 was the rough years for us. I got shot at. Thank God they missed. Some guys died. You put your ass on the line, and we got through it. I mean, it was a breakup. These breakups in these families are bad.
And when you were able to do that,
are we here?
Being yeah, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah. So after being broke apart from the Colombo guys, how did that make you feel? Because you were kind of with them under that faction, but when the all-out war went on, what was going through your head?
Okay, since I'm a kid, we were never very, very friendly with Joe Colombo's crew. Never, even though the guy Joey's crew is a crew in the Colombos. Man, they didn't act like they were under Joe Colombo, not at all. So we were really one with them. My father was friendly with a few guys you stood away from that just didn't like each other, so you stood away from them. Like Sally D and and Carmine. But Carmine was in jail half the times. I had a couple of run-ins with McIntosh and those guys and Jerry Lang. It's rough. It was rough, but we weren't together as far as a breakaway. Those guys, those Gallo guys, were always renegades, man. They were out of their minds, from day one. So our breakaway was internal. It was internal in the crew. That was hard. But not really socializing with Joe Colombo's crew's family was natural. We were always told not to go to their clubs or their bars or the discos, to stay away from them. And it's the same family. And
yeah, and see, Sal, he brought up that Sally D'Ambrosio. I think that's who he was referring to. And you had a little story that you've told me about it, and maybe he'd find it interesting to hear.
That Sally D, he was friends with Freddie No-Nos. They were tight until they killed the both of them. You remember that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And they were badass guys. They were, a lot of the upper guys were thinking they were going to try to take over the whole family.
Yeah, they were tough guys. They were all shooters. Yeah.
Let's see.
That Joey had in 60. in the early 60s, you know, which is Profaci's crew anyway, I call it, at the time. They had a lot of killers over there. You know what I mean? They had a lot of guys. Everybody was capable over there. Even the guys that broke away in 62, which is a breakaway. I call it a breakaway in 62, is because they just said, leave those fucking guys alone. They're crazy. Let them do what they got to do. But they were under Joe Colombo's wing at that time. But they didn't bother nobody. They let us pretty much do what they want. I'm young there. I can only say that what I saw and heard, you know. But a lot of guys did mingle. You know what I mean? A lot of guys stood friends. Like I said, Sonny Francisi was close to my father, all through the thing. Anthony Peanuts, I don't know his last name right now. Peanuts, we called him Peanuts. He was very close to my father. So, you know, it's crazy. Some guys like each other. Some guys don't like each other. You know, that's how this thing works, man. You know, everything's smoke and mirrors.
Even though you didn't like somebody, you had respect, though. Adrian, guys had respect for other guys, even though
you had to, especially, as a young guy. Yeah, as a young guy, you had to respect anybody, no matter what. Even if they did something wrong, I had a few experiences that I told a couple guys to go fuck themselves, and Blast told me, "Nat, you can't do that. Number one, he brings me big envelopes. You don't.
You don't.
So make sure you go back and say you're sorry. I had to go put my tail between my legs, and I had to go say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? And the guy came back at me nice and said he was wrong with what he said to me. So
it was still about the money.
But that's the problem. You gotta,
about the money.
That's what it always comes down to.
Yeah.
Well, Frank also got busted for drugs, right, Frank? A couple times.
All about the money, man. Everything's bullshit in this life. He knows better. Is probably better than me.
It's the same now. It's all about the money. Not even in the mob. Anywhere,
84,
legitimate business.
Yeah, about 84, we got busted. We got some setup. They set us up. Listen, we're hoodlums. Like I said, we're hoodlums. You come to me and you wanted something. Even though I didn't indulge in it at the time, I go find it for you, man. That's what we do. And that's how we got involved. But it was all set up by a rat in Long Island. That got somebody was knocking around that got in trouble. And he gave my father up, saying, listen, I got something to one of those Gallo guys for you in Brooklyn. And they approached us. Somebody brought him to us. They wanted something. My father comes to me. He goes, go reach out. And that's how. Then we set it up because we're hoodlums. We're going to make money. It wasn't a drug dealer. I mean, I would have sold the Eiffel Tower to you. You know that. The fuck. And that's how we got pinched and stuff like that.
How did that case?
It was very lucrative in between. We beat that case. 19 months it went through. They threw it out just before pre-trial. It was a Nassau indictment. We got pinched in Brooklyn. They were all fucked up because with the paperwork back and forth and with the undercover agent and with the CI. And after 19 months, they just threw it out. After $100,000 in aggravation, lose a ton of money.
Was that a federal case or
Thank God we got thrown out. But I couldn't make bail. They had bail on me. No, I think it was a state. It was a state charge. It was Nassau indictment. I think it was a state charge. Yeah. I had a $2 million bail. I couldn't make it for fucking 2 months. Everybody else got out, and I'm sitting there holding my pecker for 2 months. And I finally made bail because the judge says he didn't have the paperwork in front of him. Okay, and that's why I had to sit there. But 19 months later, they threw it out. I don't think they wanted the CI to be because we were going all the way with it. We were going to trial. I don't think they wanted the CI to be
informant.
One of the guys, I think, with us. I think he was another guy on the car. I think he was. I think there was 2 on it because a guy with the direct sales and all that stuff, he wound up doing 5 years, and we were facing life, and he got 5 years. So, everything sounds funny, so you can't trust nothing no more. But that was our indulgence with that. We stood downtown until Blast went over to Chin in New York, and then we wound up going to Chin because everybody got released from the Colombos, and And then you had to get spoken for. We got spoken for with Chin, and we wanted Chin for many years until until that happened. That happened, and after that, we got released from Chin because you couldn't get drunk pictures around Chin.
And then you went to the DeCavalcante family, right?
You there?
Yeah, we're here. You went to Jersey? Did you go to Jersey?
That's what happened.
I think
After we got released from Chin, maybe in 1986, like that, we wound up going over there because some guys from that crew, and he needed some guidance. And my father was good schooled Anthony, so we got really close with Anthony. Got businesses together, vacation. My kids grew up with his kids, and then until they got pinched in '99, and I was supposed to get straightened out in '99. See, God's always been with me. I'm not a holy guy, but always on my shoulder, because I was getting straightened out in '99, and they all got pinched, and so everything went up in the air. Thank God, because right after that, in 2001, everybody flipped.
and you would have been down with them, man. But there was something like about his, Sal, that I remember from the interview that I did with Frank, was that the reason he didn't go down was because the capo that wasn't it Anthony that you were reporting to, Frank, that he flipped on the family but not his crew.
Really?
I believe
Yes.
so.
We wound up being a Brooklyn crew with Anthony. Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, but what was his last name?
Hello?
I can't recall his last name.
You guys lose me again?
No, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Hello? Yeah.
Just give it a couple seconds, Sal. He'll probably be back in. Let's just go through a little couple questions. Dean says, Sal's the man. Here's Patty says, good morning, Sal, Adrian, and Frank. Salute.
Pasquale.
Miss Bubbles, good morning, gentlemen. Excited for this one. Hey, how you doing? Look, we got Mr. Bubbles up in here, too.
Mr. Bubbles.
Let's see. I'll be listening. I'll do dishes and get chores
We
done.
got a bad connection, man. Yeah, we got a bad connection.
I'm going to text him to leave and join again.
Can you see the questions?
Yeah. It's Frank from Red Hook. Yeah, I'm from Red Hook. Yes, I am.
So he can see them. There's Denise, Sal.
Hello, Denise, up in Michigan. Hey.
Yeah, howdy, boys. Denise.
Frank's in the house.
Frank's in the house. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to do another day when we get, a good connection.
Hello.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think it's on my. I think it's on my end, guys. I think it's on my end.
Yeah.
I think my internet's not picking up.
You ever get out west, Frank? You ever get out west? I don't think he heard me.
No, I don't fly. I don't like flying. So I go from here to Florida. Yes. Here to Florida, here to Texas. I drive. I don't fly.
Where do you go in Texas?
So that's down west is left. As I go to Texas. I go to Houston. I got my cousin owns a restaurant in Houston.
Okay.
What's that?
I like Texas. The government dropped me off.
He owns
there.
a place called Pomodoros.
Oh yeah. In Houston, yeah.
You get used to anything if you have to. Yeah.
Houston,
yeah. He owns a restaurant out there about 10 years. It's a nice restaurant. And I go to Florida most of the times when I can get out of here.
Well, Frank, I was gonna to kind of wrap up on
Yeah.
We'll got to do another
basically,
session when we can be.
what we do.
Yeah,
Very fluid. We need to be fluid.
I know. Well, Frank, to wrap up on here, what
Yeah.
is your thoughts on the life now?
I don't think he heard you.
Yeah, I'm out of it 20 years. I don't know shit. You know what I mean? I don't know shit. I don't know nobody. Everybody I know is dead or in jail.
Right.
You know, I'm 68, and the guys they were his age or older, and he's younger than the guys around me. You know, they were all 90, 88, 90. So I don't know nobody. I don't know nobody. I don't want to know nobody.
Right.
I don't trust anybody.
It's a different world, Adrian.
Nobody.
Just a
I don't
different
trust
world.
nobody.
Yeah.
So it's a different world. There's no honor. Nobody's got no mentors. No one loves each other. It's all about the dime. I love these guys. I grew up. Man, I might be stupid, but I loved my father and Punchy. You know, I jump in front of a bullet for them. You know, maybe it's stupidity. Maybe it's just the way you're brought up. I think about it now. You know, that my father to me was gold. I mean, he's still now. It was a time. That's what we did. This is what we knew. Do I have regrets? Nah, I don't have no regrets. You know, I don't have regrets because I survived it. I mean, if I didn't survive, I was sitting in jail. Maybe I wouldn't be as happy. You know, but
you still got a lot of gas in your
tank. A lot
of
stuff.
He's got gas in his tank. He's only 68.
But I don't miss putting my ass on the line and doing things I don't want to do.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
We got to set up another interview, Adrian.
Yeah. Well, Frank, thank you for coming on, man. We'll be in touch, man, soon. We'll try and get some good connection for the next one.
Yeah.
Just give him a second. It's a little delayed.
Bad connection, brother.
Yeah.
Well, Frank, we'll talk soon. We'll chat and we'll try to figure out something for the next one.
You know what we do? You hook it up again. I'll make sure that in the house here, everybody's not online playing fucking video games and stuff like that, because I think that's the problem. I think this whole house is on one router.
That's the issue. There you
my
go.
Grandchildren are playing downstairs. Yeah, I'm telling you. We just hooked it up a week ago. Since I made the whole house the one internet.
Wi-Fi.
We're having this problem. So I will make sure that everybody's offline. Whenever you want to do it, let me know, and we can set up.
We'll get an hour. Yeah.
But Sal, I read your book. It was a very good book.
Yeah, I'd like to read yours. I thumbed through it this morning online. So you have a different point of view, which was, I always thought that President Street and all of that was very, very tight. So, you know, I knew that, and to hear it from you would be great, so the public could understand what it really was like growing up there.
Yeah. Well, that first book I did was a memoir. It wasn't even done as to do gangster stuff. It was just a memoir of what I seen as a kid growing up, with the nicknames
and that's what the public,
the neighborhoods and the restaurants.
That's what the public should know, how intense it was.
You know.
Yeah. The camaraderie was great, Adrian. You were very close to everybody. You could trust everybody. Yeah, then you could trust everybody in the 70s.
Yes.
And when they started killing and killing people for money, it was over. So I get it.
Yeah. Everything changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, when that internal beef in 74, 73, 74 was all over money.
Yeah.
It was, you know, some guys went back to the Colombos, Joey's crew, but it was because of money, not because of other things. It just wasn't earning.
Yeah.
And because those guys all grew up together, they were like half cousins. You know, who's married each other's sisters, and it was a fucking shit show with that.
You know, Adrian,
but the money became superseded.
The analogy I can give you is the time that he was there. It was very special, and it wasn't always about the money, because you had respect. Today, when we look at television, because of the massive amount of money, sports is completely different. Nobody cares about each other. They don't care. It's all about the almighty dollar. And that's what took the mob down, was the money and the drugs.
I can see that.
It's
Yeah,
a mirror.
Yeah, when you lost your passion for somebody. Yeah, when you lose your passion and your love for somebody, because you have to have that. Even though you're gangster and you gotta have that passion. When you don't have it for someone, that's why people give up. People give people up. People, shoot your head so fast. They lost that. It's all about.
I did see it.
Big.
I wanted to tell you, Frank.
Money,
Frank, I wanted to tell you, I saw it in Lewisburg.
And how much. It's over. It's been over, man.
Yeah, it was over in 75, but nobody realized it.
It's not. It's not. It hasn't gone away, but it's over.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It took a while.
When everybody went underground, I haven't seen somebody in a suit. And I didn't even see nobody in a suit no more. They're afraid to wear a suit because they might get, pinpointed out. The whole thing changed. I mean, it was fun being dressed up and showing who the fuck you
right.
What? You can't even do that no more.
No.
You're gonna hide. You're gonna hide in the corner. On the ground.
Hey, Adrian.
No.
Back in the day,
clubs,
where he was, all the club doors were open.
Just wide open. Didn't matter.
You walked in, you walked out. Yeah. They knew everybody.
Yeah. Not no more, man. Yeah. Well, Frank, we appreciate you coming on, man. We'll be in touch again.
Yeah, we'll talk again. We could have some fun.
You set up another one. I'll make sure that on my end is working.
All right, we'll see you, man.
Definitely.
All right.
Got a lot of stuff to go over. Sure.
All right, we'll see you, Frank.
Okay, nice meeting you, Sal.
All right, we'll talk again, Frank.
All right, we'll keep going, Sal. We got a super chat here from Jacqueline here. She said, "Good morning, guys. I'm from Brownsville and Flatbush. Yeah.
Oh,
Ocean Ave and Foster.
I didn't know where she was from. Wow.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Thank you for that super chat. We appreciate that, Jacqueline. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, AJ says, "What was Gene Gotti like? We always hear about John Gotti, but Gene was made before him. I was under the assumption he was made because of John, but he was just as gangster as John."
No, I was friends with Gene, and in '73, John had come back out of prison in '72. Now, my friend Foxy was really close with Gene Gotti. Gene Gotti's personality was he was witty. He was breakneck, fast, witty, smart. He loved horse betting. We used to go to the track together. And I almost talked him into going in on a heist to the airport with us, which we actually did the similar heist as Lufthansa. We went in there and took over a terminal. And then John told his brother, "Are you crazy? That old bots will get you killed." So Gene said, "Nah, I better not go. It's, my brother doesn't like the idea of me going to the airport with guns and all." But I always liked Gene. He was a clever guy, and he's still alive, and I liked him. Of course, he wouldn't like what I did, but he knows, and I know, we all know the mob changed. So he was a bright guy. He was a movie lover, too. He would walk around quoting movies. He loved Edward G. Robinson. I mean, he was an interesting guy, Gene.
Let's see. The next question here is from Morsi Boy. He says, "Sal, do you have any poker chips for sale from the Sinatra Club, sir?"
We got a few, only a few. Let Adrian know. And, if you buy a card, I'll send you a free chip.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, he's bought it. He's bought a few cards before too, so he knows we got the website. But yeah, if you place an order through there, we'll throw that in there. We know your name.
Yeah.
David.
I got them in a box. Stashed somewhere. I got to dig them out. But they're not the original poker chips. The cards are. The poker chips I made was for the Sinatra Club movie. But I'd give you one anyway.
Yeah, they are pretty cool. He just said, "Adrian, I hope you're doing well, buddy. Great to see you again." Yeah, well, we'll see you, man. Thank you. I've been chatting with you on Instagram and stuff. So if you do want any of those poker chips or anything, just reach out to us, man.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Adrian, I'd really like Frank to give us more info.
Yeah, he's pretty cool, man. It's just too bad the damn connection, man. I know it sucks, but
yeah, he
whatever.
that was a very special place. And I didn't mention it, but there was a famous book written, The Gang Who Couldn't Shoot Straight.
Oh yeah, that's right. About those guys
A
on President
comedic
Street.
book by Jimmy Breslin. And I'm sure he laughed about that book. And they made fun of the Colombo Wars and, you know, Gallows and all, but it was well received, the book.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, that would be interesting. When did that book come out? Do you know?
Oh my God. It was back in the 70s, I believe.
Oh, way back then?
Yeah, yeah. And the guy was a good writer. He was an award-winning New York Times writer. And one time he wrote something about Jimmy Burke. Jimmy Burke went to I think his name was Jimmy Breslin. He went into Henry's nightclub and Jimmy choked him. He got nervous and he choked him and said, "Stop writing about us."
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a story that not a lot of people knew. But Jimmy Burke, you know, he was Irish and Jimmy Breslin was Irish. But I did know Breslin, and I coached his kid on the football team, you know, the Pop Warner team. So there was always something going on. I'm sure Frank remembers that book. It was really detailed. Breslin did a lot of research to write about the gang who couldn't shoot straight.
Yeah. Damn, I can't believe that. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Let's see. This one here asks, let's see. Tyson has said, did Sal meet Vinny Asaro? Heard Vinny could be crazy and nice also.
Vinny. I lived 2 blocks away from his club. I knew him.
What was he like? Did you talk to him much?
He was all right. He was friends with Gotti. I mean, I knew him. You know, I didn't do any business with him. I think I knew his cousin who testified against him. His name was Gaspar Valenti. And his kid was on my football team too. So the whole neighborhood, you know, we knew everybody in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know you knew him as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Morrissey Boy says, Adrian, I will do that. Thanks, guys. I apologize for the late entry to the stream. Oh, man, no worries. We're having technical difficulties today anyway, so.
Just send me his address. Send me his address. I'll send him a chip.
Yeah, I'll have to look back at our backlog of orders, and I think I'll have it on there. But yeah, thank you, David. We appreciate you bearing with us today. But let's see. Do we got any other questions? Anybody else want to ask Sal any questions? We're about 42 minutes in here. Let's see. Yeah, we'll see if we get some more. But yeah, Frank's story is pretty interesting because there is a lot that went into it. And that.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Foxy's nephew is a cop, Paul Girotti, a cop who has made a few headlines. Look it up.
Oh, I didn't know that he made headlines, but I did talk to Foxy's niece and nephew not long ago. I had an hour talk with them, tell them all about who Foxy was. I didn't know that his brother was a cop that made headlines, but I believe he was in Denver, from what I know.
Did you remember talking to him much at all? Or did you ever get to meet him at all? The brother?
I didn't talk to Paul Girotti, but I talked to his son and daughter.
Oh, when even like back in the day, though, did you?
Didn't know him.
No. Okay. Let's see. The next one here says, one of my friends is related to Quack Quack. She doesn't tell any stories, so I don't think she heard about the life.
Wow. Well, you know, I met Angelo in 1971, and he was involved in some of the hijackings that Foxy and I did because Angelo and John Gotti, they mentored Foxy. Then in 74, when I got to prison, Angelo was there. And that's probably the most important person that the public doesn't know really caused the mob to start to go downhill. And one of these days, I'll talk in depth about Angelo and how they treated him in prison.
AJ said, nice looking guy. He is a good cop.
Okay, that's cool. A good cop.
Here we go. One's here that says, Sal, who's your favorite mob actor?
Wow. You know, I got to tell you, yeah, you could say De Niro and Pacino. To be very honest with you, I think the most amazing actor was Nicholson. as an actor. Yeah, I liked Pacino and I liked De Niro, but boy, I could watch A Few Good Men every week. That's how good that. And Nicholson was a master, really.
Yeah. Let's see.
Of course, I like Newman and Redford also.
Yeah. Pasquale said, and I received the, what do you say? I received the Sinatra Club playing cards. Thanks, Goombas.
Yeah, we'll talk this week, Pasquale. Call me.
Yeah, he said you might have another potential guest for us.
Good.
So
Good.
I'll have to see what he's got in mind.
Okay.
But here, I'll play our ad real quick.
He might want me to go out to Albuquerque and do a little stand-up with his nephew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be funnier than hell. Here, I'm going to play our ad on here real quick. We haven't played it yet.
Okay.
If anybody got any more questions before we wrap up, just send them in. To support our podcast, we got a few items that you can purchase. All of these items can be found in the video description below. The first one is Sal's book, The Sinatra Club. You can get this personally autographed by Sal. The next one in our hottest seller is the 1972 Sinatra Club playing cards. Back in Sal's Mafia days, he opened up his own social club named the Sinatra Club. Many mobsters would come to this club, even when there were all-out wars going on between different families. They would come to the Sinatra Club and play cards. Some of the mobsters that played with these cards were John Gotti, Dominic Cataldo, Tommy DeSimone, Foxy, Jimmy Burke, Willie Boy Johnson, Tony Roach, Henry Hill, Joe DeFede, Danny Fatico, Gene Gotti, Peter Gotti, Joey Scopo, and many more. We're selling each one of these cards for $10 a piece. These cards are limited. We only got 1,000 of them. The next item is an autographed picture of Sal from his Mafia days. Another item is the Dinner with the Mobster card. You can get this autographed as well. This was an event that Sal had hosted in the past. We also got the Ubots production ticket from an event that Sal had hosted. This is also autographed. The last item we got to offer is Sal's book, The Sins of the Father. Again, you can find all these items in the video description below.
When I had the apartments, that's what I did.
There we go. Hey, Sal, we got another comment. He said, my Uncle Frankie, this is Joey DeLuca. So I've had Joey DeLuca's father was Anthony DeLuca, and I had him on the show before. So he was another guy that was on that Pleasant Street for a number of years, man. So I got this guy on Facebook. Joey's pretty cool, man. I see a lot of his stuff on there. His father cracks me up, man. He sent in $1. Thank you, Joey. Appreciate that.
All right.
Let's see. Sean said, is Tony Roach, is he related to the Roach, the fighter trainer?
I don't think so, to be honest, because I don't know, but Tony Roach was a character in himself. He really was.
Yeah. Who knows? Never know, man. Yeah, thank you, Joey. But yeah, Sal, you got anything else you want to throw in here before we wrap up? But no.
Is Bubbles on there?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't. Bubbles, you there?
Mrs. Bubbles is there.
Yeah, earlier that was the one we first started, but
oh no, that's Joe DeLuca. Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't know if he's still there, but
they usually listen together.
Yeah.
She got back. She just got back from working on a movie. Oh, cool. I'm gonna call him later. We'll talk a little basketball. I'll give him a call on our way home. We're going back to Arizona.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, thank you everybody for tuning in and bearing through the technical difficulties. But it was cool. We were able to get Frank on. He's a good guy. He's a gentleman, and he's changed his life. Obviously, he left that life a number of years ago. So, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right.